Just gonna be honest, guys. I am not looking forward to this. Today is the week that we finally do the clutch on the Mazda 3. This thing, wheels, by the way. I'm not gonna show you what they are. You can probably see what they are. I just wanna show you how big these things are and how much stretch there is on those tires. You'll probably see them sometime throughout this video, but anyways. This has needed its clutch for like 5 years. This car currently has 250,000 kilometers on it. I don't know what that is in miles, do calc. I feel like today, once this job's done, this will be like the next era. We're on to next era. We're going on to the next era, like dead ass. Wheels and everything. It's gonna be sweet. We are going to be doing a totally OEM clutch setup. The cool part about this is I have an Exedy lightweight flywheel. So even though we're going OEM clutch, which I mean, I don't need to go anymore, just because I don't plan on making too much power with this. I mean, I said that with the Miata, but that's a different story. So here we got a lightweight Exedy flywheel. So I think this is gonna be sweet. I wanted something kind of to just make it feel a little bit different, and I know these flywheels are super heavy. These weigh about 17 to 19 pounds. This is about 13 pounds. I think it'll be a little bit more fun to drive as well. My CV axle, my boot's been torn on mine for the longest time, so I also got a new axle for the driver's side. I guess let's go ahead and do this. First thing that's coming out is the battery. This is gonna come off. PCM plugs out here. Or big flathead, and just yank that out. A couple of tenors beside the fuse box. Those four off. This black bracket pops out, so now you can see your trans mount. This would be a good time to change your trans mount. You know what, I kind of should have, to be honest with you. So behind this bracket, where the cables just came off, I got two bolts that you can't see right beside each other. This stuff is so soft, it's incredible. Anyway, so this bracket's loose. Now we gotta work on, that was connected to the trans, the bell housing, I believe. Some stuff in behind here that we're gonna have to, a couple plugs. Plug all the way at the bottom. Plug down there, this guy. I believe it would have been, yeah, this fella. There's a plug right here, and the other end clips into there, clipped in through the bottom. Plug right here, boom, boom. Now I'm gonna pin these tenors off, take this bracket off. You're gonna notice you're gonna be taking a couple grounds off too. So, I mean, like something like this, I gotta like really clean up. There's a, that one's tough to see. Ooh, there's a bracket in here. It's got a ground on it. It's got a ground, and then there's two bolts right there. I'm just gonna take those two bolts off. I'm not gonna remove the ground, but I'll probably clean the ground before I put it back together. Slave, two bolts, pop that out. We're gonna zip tie it closed, just for the memes. Oh my god, I've released the bell housing bolts in my Mazda 3 that I said I was gonna do my clutch on 1,000 times.
That's a big boy.
Look at that.
Oh, do they know about those things in the background yet?
Not, like they've seen everything except the face.
Yeah, they're not gonna, they can't see shit from here.
I told them that they'll probably see it at some point. There.
I just appreciate this face.
I should have removed the intake. I told everybody, don't remove your intake if you got a cold air intake. Oh, I found it. There it is, right there.
So what happens if they only have common hand tools?
You're
Yep, there it is. That sounds like cancer. Hey, look. what did we get done? We learned that you should definitely take it to an authorized dealership or a mechanic friend or someone and just pay someone to do it. Because you know what? Life's too short for garbage like this.
No, it's okay.
What's going on?
Everything out the front of the car is done.
Hey, look at this. Everything's free floating. You can't tell, but everything is no longer connected to it.
Like the whole front, all these wires, starter plug for some reason, I don't know why I took that off, is all done. So, we'll watch the YouTube video and find out what's next on this episode of...
Yeah, we're a little beat up.
Yeah. I was fine until we got in there.
Until you're reaching and like just feeling your way around and then trying to break nuts that you can't even see.
Oh! Look at it! Oh!
Dig it off, dig it off.
It's all gone.
I can see it on the ground. This is what's going on over here. We got the starter out. We got that starter bracket that we talked about in the previous clip. This is our starter right here. Oh. Ta-da, look at that. Original starter, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so cute.
Oh.
Underleaf.
You're gonna get tetanus.
Later, dude. Disappears into the darkness. Anyways, with that segment, I think we are almost done draining. It's just a little tiny trickle now. You can't even see it on camera. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
No.
Jump a set. Oh, nice. Keep coming down, can you? There it is. Yeah, go all the way down. Slow.
Whoa.
It's gonna come forward a little bit, so. Yeah, keep going down. Perfect. There it is. Come here, baby! This way. Well, there you go. There you go.
Clutch is just mangled. It's pretty mangled. Flywheel, hot spots. Everything that you'd expect. Clutch actually isn't as bad as condition as I thought it would be. The flywheel weight difference is actually very noticeable, which is gonna be cool. We were here yesterday. We spent almost an hour punching that pilot bearing out, but the new one is in, which is good. I think our main focus today is to get everything in the everything bolted to the block, and then get the bell housing bolted up to the block as well. And then I think once we've done that, it's pretty much game from there. We just connect everything that we need to. And it's kind of funny looking at all of this out of the car, because it took so long for us to get it like out of the car, and there's very little what's left over. Like, you got the trans, okay, you don't count any of that except the axles. So you got the trans, the axles, all your bolts for the trans, extra bolts, right? There's like 7, and you got like your starter, your trans bracket, the mount, I call it the chicken head, and then trans mount, or your rear motor mount. I think the main part of doing this all is all the wiring and the ground brackets. And I won't be replacing the rear main seal because Mazda doesn't actually have any anywhere. Or my old throw bearing, see if you guys can hear this. In other words, yeah, it was screaming for its life. Crucial moment of cleaning this. This thing's like greased in the package, so give this thing a pretty good deep clean here. Forgot to install the alignment pins into the new flywheel. They don't install them, which is, I thought it was kind of weird, but.
All right, guys, here we are 3 hours later. Transmission's back in.
Almost final day. So we were here on the weekend, pretty much put the whole car together, and I didn't show you guys a single thing. everything is put back together. Only thing we are waiting for is we need to torque this nut. We need to bleed the clutch. We need to fill the transmission with fluid. And we also have to do the ball joint pinch bolts. Put the pinch bolts in for the control arms, and then tomorrow we'll fill the fluid and then start this thing up. And that'll be that. Okay, we're here with the next day. Car's mint. Let's go check it out. So yesterday was the first day that I drove this car. Put 137 kilometers on it. Fortunately, 3/4 of it has been highway, but needless to say, from what I have experienced so far, people say it's hard to drive on. It's really not. This is a stock clutch, OEM clutch with the lightweight flywheel. All I have to say is that there's maybe less of a biting point. The biting point still is quite snappier than it used to be, but it's not hard whatsoever to drive on. If anything, it's actually nicer to drive on. Let's go warm this thing up. I'll give you guys some revs, but other than that, when it comes to pulling and stuff, you definitely, like, it accelerates a little faster. That's one big thing I've noticed, is that when you kind of get off the clutch and you go, it definitely accelerates a lot faster. You can feel it kick in for sure. So let's go ahead and get this thing warmed up. So when it comes to revving and all that, one cool thing that I've noticed with this is with the Mazda 3s, when you're warm, turn the car off or whatever, go shopping, come back and turn it on, it'll rev up and then come down when you start it up. I've noticed a lot quicker. One thing I was totally expecting was the revs to fall faster, which apparently is not the case. But we can go ahead and do a couple of revs here. Like, it's incredibly quick. And I can tell the difference. And I haven't even driven this car in like 3 months. Revs still fall about the same, but it definitely, like, responds to the pedal and everything about going up is so much quicker. Like I said, it's like that with driving too. The acceleration on the low end is a lot better. Doesn't feel as heavy in the pedal, which is definitely noticeable. Like I said, I can't go into a huge, comparison of stock feel. It's hard because I'm still breaking this thing in. But those are some of the things that I've noticed for sure. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm actually super stoked on this and how everything feels. So is it worth it or not? I mean, for the extra $300 that you'll spend on this instead of a stock flywheel or getting your flywheel machined, depends really what you plan on doing in the car. I know I'm gonna keep the car for forever if I could. So that's why I went with it. I kind of, like I did with the Miata, I wish I did go with like maybe an aftermarket clutch, just a little bit of an upgrade. But I think, is there really any performance that goes with it? And like I said, yeah, I think the acceleration on low end's a ton more noticeable. Revs go up a lot faster. I think this is obviously more suited towards someone that'll, go towards the performance side of things with these cars. You ask yourself that, right? It's just kind of one of those things. Obviously with the Mazda 3 platform, you don't really stick around in it too often, so I mean, for the the average consumer of this car, I wouldn't say it is, but for someone that's gonna keep it for a long time, heck yeah, why not, right? Anyways guys, that's the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like on the video, comment down below. Wheels and shit's gonna be going on this thing pretty quick here, so looking forward to that. Other than that guys, keep it real. I'll see y'all in the next one.